If you're a guy over 30 and you want to learn from some of the mistakes that I've made in my life, have a listen to this. Now, look, I have made thousands upon thousands of mistakes every year, every week of my life. And sometimes I'm talking to someone about a certain subject and I think, what an idiot. Like, because I come up with something and I can remember something that I did that was just so stupid. And maybe you feel the same way in some of the things you've done in your life. But just like one thing that comes to mind was not leaving my job earlier. And I did the same job for like 12 years. I was a welder. I welded aluminium bull bars. It was a reasonably high skilled job. And I did that for so long. And I feared that I couldn't do something else, that I couldn't get paid the same amount somewhere else at a different job. And that's what kept me back and held me back and just kept me sort of doing it over and over and over for 12 years. I mean, look, it was meant to be because it happened. That's how I look at it. It was meant to be because I did it and the time passed and I did other things, obviously, while I was doing that job. But I shouldn't have feared, taking the leap and doing something else, because that was what it is. It was just fear that was stopping me. So that would be certainly number one thing that I sort of regret doing. Another one that I can think of is I kind of regret not working harder when I was younger. So in that same job that I had, actually within the first few years, I was able to negotiate a 3-day working week, and which was cool. I thought, oh, this is amazing. I've made it. And I had a 5-day weekend every weekend for quite a while. And then I started to realize that I wasn't making the money that I wanted to, and I had bills to pay and things to buy, and it just wasn't really working out how I thought. And not even just that, like I sort of eventually went back to like 4-day weeks, 5-day weeks at that job, but I kind of didn't really sort of think very hard about, I wanted more balance, I guess, and I should have just put more work in. I should have just done harder things, done them for longer, applied myself more, and that would have sort of propelled me like so much further forward in life. I know something else I should have done, and I should have done more of, and I did it a little bit, but I should have invested more in like courses and coaching or mentoring or just some kind of program or something like that, some kind of like plan to get me from one place to another. I was always too much of a tight ass to sort of spend money on a lot of those things, and now, like 2 decades later, I realize that is just so powerful. Like to learn from someone that's better than you, or to sort of take you in a direction that you want to go. And for me, I didn't want to be in that job. My main goal was getting out of that job and wanting to have my own income. So that's what I should have sort of applied myself at. I was trying things, but I didn't really sort of put much money into courses and things like that. I always read tons of books. I still do. So that's kind of where I've learned a lot of my things from. But absolutely, I should have sort of spent more to sort of gain more and learn more. Okay, this next one is a big one for me, and that was rushing into investments, businesses, real estate, and not doing my proper due diligence, and really just not thinking long term enough. Like I just made some stupid investments, wasted so much money. I don't even want to think about how much money it has been over the years. But yeah, I sort of bought the wrong types of properties early on. Like I could have done nothing with the properties that I had, and be further ahead, and I could have just done nothing. But I made stupid investments and done some stupid things, and look, I've learned from it, so that's good. But same kind of thing with like some like business or income ideas. I was trying to sort of take shortcuts and buy little businesses or websites or apps to make money, and really none of it really eventuated into anything good. Another one is I didn't surround myself with enough winners. I've always been more introverted and not sort of put myself out there and sort of gone to meet people as much as I could have. I mean, I've gone through periods where I have and then I haven't. But certainly I didn't, like I wanted to be a winner. And when I say a winner, I mean I wanted to be I wanted to own a business. I wanted to, or make some income online or something like that, just something to get me out of my job. And I didn't surround myself with enough of those types of people that were already doing it. Maybe a little bit online, but not in person. And that's something I think it is true. You know, like you hear people say it all the time, and it's just, you sort of get sick of hearing it, but it is very, very true that if you surround yourself with losers that just aren't doing anything with their lives, you know, guys that just, you know, they're not being their best selves, you're just going to become the same as them. Kind of going on from that last one is not getting out of my comfort zone soon enough was another mistake, and I still do that now, you know, like not pushing myself into as many sort of hard situations as I could. I do at times, I do not at other times. I'm sure most people do, but certainly getting out of your comfort zone is actually where you can get comfortable, if that makes sense. Like, I think most humans are the same. We feel great and really, really good about ourselves when we grow, when we progress. And to do that, you need to get uncomfortable. So if you get uncomfortable, you can get very comfortable or very fulfilled and excited about your growth. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, you can get comfort from uncomfort to a degree. Another thing that I have to catch myself in sometimes is believing that success is like a destination and not a journey. So, I mean, and you can sort of think like that more so when you are, say, doing a job, you're working a job and you want to get out of that job, you know, you want to start a business, have a business or some kind of income. You can tend to think like that more. I think I've changed a lot over the years, being self-employed now for sort of 8-9 years, is getting more comfortable with just what I do each day and being excited and fulfilled by that, and not just thinking, okay, 5 years from now or next year when I do this or when I have this or when I have that, then I'm going to be a bit more happier. That's a constant trap that, I mean, I know we all suffer from, but if you can sort of just catch yourself in the moment and realize today is part of that journey. Today, it's not going to be any more different tomorrow. It's still going to be the same tomorrow. I mean, it's still going to be the same tomorrow as it is today. So I guess kind of like some lessons from these mistakes that I've made in life is that it doesn't matter how many you make. You just need some wins to keep yourself moving forwards. And like, depending on the time, the stage you're in life, as long as you're keeping on progressing and you're taking the right steps, then things will be better in the future. But you have to realize that today is part of that journey, and not sort of catching yourself in that trap that I was just talking about of thinking, okay, in 5 years it's going to be better. Realize that today is part of that journey. It's fulfilling right now. I'm getting closer to where I want to be. I've also sort of thought that, you know, like I might think that I'm a little bit more of a late bloomer with certain things, like, you know, not quitting my job till I was 30, and, you know, and sort of then only then sort of getting into business, and then just the last few years sort of accelerating. And sometimes just things can just happen all at once. Sometimes it takes very, very long time. But I feel like maybe I'm more of a late bloomer with sort of making money and building wealth, although I feel like I'm doing really well now. Like I said, the last few years, things have been sort of growing. But then there's other things I feel like I bloomed early, is that the word? That I learned early that they feel easy for me, you know, like personal development, health, mindset, all those kinds of things. I've always been very sort of obsessed about and wanting to continuously improve. So I feel those things have come easy to me, but then some other things have not come easy to me, and I'm sure that's the same for you. Sometimes you might think though, because we're naturally human, we sort of start to think of the more negative side of things, and we think, I'm no good at this, I'm crap at this, I'm not good at anything, or I don't have this, I don't have that. Sometimes you just have to dig very, very deep and there's usually something that you're good at, or you catch on with quickly, you've had since you were younger. And if you can just sort of start stacking those things in your mind, otherwise you just get far too negative, and you sort of, you just end up really depressing yourself. So you've got to really stack those wins, stack those those things that really did sort of, that really have been on your side, I guess. Anyway, that's just another rant of mine, another random video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something from it. If you want to follow along on my entrepreneurial journey, hit subscribe.